Hello everybody and welcome back to a brand new video on the channel. Now I actually wasn't going to make a video today, but since Preston have recently made two brand new signings since I last made a video, I thought I'd make a video today and sort of discuss those signings and what I think of them basically. And throughout this video, when I am giving my opinion on stuff, I want you guys to be commenting in the comments down below basically what you think of these signings as well and what's to come in the transfer window for Preston really. So if you've not heard about the news yet, we have just completed the signing of Eoin Doyle on a permanent deal for a 2-year contract basically with Preston. And obviously last season Eoin Doyle was on loan with Preston where he didn't really make much of an impact with us. On the screen now guys, I'll leave you Eoin Doyle's stats from last season. As you can see, last season Eoin Doyle started 15 matches for Preston and he also made 13 appearances as a substitute. And in those games, he only managed to bag in 4 goals for Preston. So I'm really stuck with this signing if I'm being honest. In my end of season review guys, if you've not seen that video, I'll leave a link to it at the end of the video guys, but basically I gave everyone a rating out of 10 and the rating I gave Eoin Doyle was a 4, and the reason I gave Doyle a 4 because it wasn't just for the lack of goals that he scored last season, because I don't really feel like his confidence dipped a lot last season and that was fairly low, but I feel like when you're a striker and you're not scoring goals, you know, and you're still in the team, you still have to be contributing other things to the team. And I just didn't feel that with Doyle. I felt like when he wasn't scoring goals, which, you know, was most of the time, throughout matches, he just went largely unnoticed for a lot of times, and he just would seem to shy away from the ball. I don't believe he got many assists last season. He might have got 1 or 2, and he also missed quite a few opportunities as well. That's all down to confidence, and so hopefully, you know, he's had a settling in period, I'd call that loan maybe, but honestly he wouldn't have been my #1 choice. But this does now tend the question, have we now got our strike force for next season? Because if we have, I'm not really too convinced by it, if I'm being completely honest. Let me walk you through our strike force for next season, which we currently have. We currently have Joe Garner, Jermaine Beckford, Mackinock, Hugh Gill, Stevie May, and Eoin Doyle. That's 6 strikers we now have in our first team, guys. So are we realistically going to have 7 strikers next season? Probably not. I mean, unless Jordan Hugo's going to go out on loan, I very much doubt we're going to bring in another striker this transfer window. And to me, that's a little bit worrying, because between those 6 strikers which I've just named, last season they only managed to score 20 goals between them in the league last season. And last season, you know, the scoring goals was our horcrux last season for us. We just couldn't seem to do it, and that was the thing that was holding us back from propelling us up the league, because defensively we were absolutely sound last season. We had that absolutely figured out, but we needed a goal scorer to come in this transfer window, and honestly, I'm not convinced. I mean, Mackinock, when he came into the club, I was happy with that signing because I knew that from the off, he's not going to be a goal scorer for us. I mean, he's a striker, but he's going to offer something else. He's going to be a target man that we're going to play to. He's going to look to bring other people into the game around him. You know, he may score like 6 to 8 goals a season, maybe, if it's a good one for him. But realistically, is he going to be the main talisman of the player driving us forward next season? No. And I know out of those 6 strikers, 2 of them were injured for large majorities of the season. Obviously, Jermaine Beckford and Stevie May were injured for large majorities of that season. But even then, if you take out Jermaine Beckford's 2 goals from that equation, then you've got 4 strikers in Joe Garner, Mackinock, Doyle and Hugill, who only scored 18 goals between them last season. And, you know, if you're looking at teams that make the playoffs, and in the end guys, that is our end goal for, you know, what we want to achieve in our time being in the championship. I'm not saying it's going to happen next season because I don't think Preston will make the playoffs next season, but we were knocking on the door last season. But the thing that separates a club from mid-table mediocrity and the playoffs is always going to be a goal scorer and scoring goals and how many you can actually get, because it doesn't matter about how good you can keep teams out. It's always going to come down to how many goals you can score, and in that forward line, I'm just not sure we have that. Obviously, guys, I'm not hating on Doyle for 1 second. I hope to God that he does well for us next season, and I really do wish him the best of luck, and I'm more than willing to give him a chance, but would he have been my #1 signing? Probably not. And in all honesty, does this show to you guys a bit of lack of ambition from the club, really? Because I think that, if anything, this shows that our transfer resources that Grayson's been given for this season are pretty limited, if I'm being honest. Because do I think that Eoin Doyle if Grayson went into a meeting with all the directors of the club and all stuff like that, do you think that Grayson would have realistically gone, okay, we need to bring in a striker, my #1 priority is going to be Eoin Doyle? I don't think it will have been. But we do know what Doyle's capable of, and that's what makes last season so frustrating, because when he was at Chesterfield, he was an absolute goal machine. Granted, that was in League One, but the amount of goals he was knocking in, you know, that's surely got to translate somehow into the Championship. So I'm hoping next season Doyle's going to do well for us, but honestly, it's a bit uninspiring. So one thing that I do think we'll be requiring on heavily next season will be goals from Jermaine Beckford. I feel like if he was to get another injury, that would majorly set us back. But I think Beckford, we're going to be relying on him a lot next year. And in all honesty, that's a lot to ask of a 32-year-old striker now. You know, he's getting on a bit. I know he's saying he still feels good and fresh and everything, but you've got to start taking that into accountability. Obviously, Stevie May will be missing from the start of the season as well. He won't be injured. I think he'll be back around maybe October or November time, something like that. Hopefully, when he comes back, he'll be able to contribute as well. But if I'm being completely honest, can I see another striker coming in on a permanent? I really don't see a chance of another permanent striker coming in. Possibly another loan signing coming in for a striker, and I'd be quite happy with that. You know, if we were to get maybe another Premier League loan or something like that from, I don't know who really I'm thinking of, but if we could get another striker on loan, maybe that would make the attacking force feel a bit more brave maybe, but apart from that, I'm just not so sure. So leave your thoughts in the comments down below of what you think of the signing of Eoin Doyle. I would be very interested to know. And also, guys, we have now completed the signing of Tommy Spurr. We completed this signing, I think, a couple of days ago now, but I'm pretty happy with the signing of Tommy Spurr, if I'm being honest. I'll put his stats on the screen now as well, so you can have a look at them. And honestly, I think he'll be quite a diverse player. You know, he offers a couple of things here and there. He can obviously play left back or centre back. I think he'll probably be played left back next season, and that may hint towards the fact that we may be playing, we will probably be sticking with the 3 at the back system with the 2 wing backs. If he could play that position, that would be absolutely fantastic. Maybe that means we'll see Cunningham next season playing in a more central role, maybe in the centre of defence. I'm not sure about that, but I think he'll definitely provide competition for Cunningham, which can only be a good thing, really. And you know, the things he offers, I think that he's obviously got a massive throw-in, which is always an asset to have. But I think as defending goes overall, I think he's a decent acquisition to bring in. So let me know in the comments down below what you think of the signing of Tommy Spurr. I will be very interested to know. Overall, the one thing I will say about our transfer business this season is that we've got it done early, and I think that's always a positive thing to do, because last season, you know, we were messing around for a long time. We were chasing players like Sam Johnson for the whole of the summer. We were chasing Dariqua for the whole of the summer, and in the end, those transfers managed to fall through in the end. I think this season, getting transfers done before pre-season starts, I think that's always a positive. I think pre-season, our first match starts on the 8th of July. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure it starts then, so it's not too far away. I think players go back into pre-season training tomorrow, so to get, you know, these signings in early, it will allow them to gel and hopefully perform on the first day of the season, because we want to get off to a good start this season. So let me know in the comments down below what you thought of all our transfers so far this year, guys, and who else do you think we should be looking to bring in, guys? So I wasn't going to upload today, but I thought I would, because we just made a new signing. So that will wrap it up for this video, guys. Thank you very much for watching. If you have enjoyed, make sure you leave a like on the video, leave a comment with all the questions that I have posed to you throughout this video. But other than that, guys, I will see you all in the next one.